Hello everyone from Ali at 11th House Wellbeing, and welcome to our Wednesday appointment. And today we haven't got Edgar in the room. My dog is not with us because, I don't know, he got bored and he's sleeping on the sofa at the moment. Can you blame him? Anyway, we got something a little bit different today. We've got a technique which comes from NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. NLP is another one of my passions, and this technique is incredibly quick, easy, and effective to counter stress and anxiety. And actually, this is something that I teach very frequently to my clients when they experience stress and anxiety, because it is so easy to do on your own. It is a tool for everyday life, really, that they can take away with them and use. So if you remember, in one of our previous sessions, in one of our recent sessions, we were talking about the parasympathetic nervous system. And we were talking about the rest and digest mode, which is the opposite to fight and flight. And if you remember, we were talking about animals and how good they are at doing that, responding to a threat. And then once the threat is over, once the danger has passed, very quickly go back to normal. There is a reason why I'm holding 2 pens here. You will see it now. So we were saying we're not that good at doing that anymore in our current context, in our current circumstances. Some of us have lost that ability to flick off the switch to back to normal, back to rest and digest. So what happens is that anxiety, that feeling stressed all the time in the background, becomes the default mode. But there are tools that we can use to reset that and go back to the normal state, rest and digest, nice and calm and relaxed. So this technique is based on the fact that when fight or flight happens, we experience a series of symptoms. And we're all familiar with, the really noticeable ones. So you get sweaty palms, your heart goes faster, your breathing gets faster as well. But a lesser known effect is that it produces tunnel vision as well. And I don't mean tunnel vision just in a metaphorical sense. This is a very real physical effect of your field of vision shrinking. And that obviously is adaptive, because in a real situation of danger, you need to be able to focus single-mindedly on that one challenge, on that one threat, in order to survive, to the detriment of everything else, which can come back into play after the threat has gone. And this is not the kind of helpful focus that we talk about in mindfulness. It's not the kind of helpful focusing on one anchor, like the breath, like what we did last week. So it's not the kind of attention which improves our life. No, this is the obsession that I'm talking about. This is the compulsively thinking about something, and only that something. When we are in the throes of anxiety and it seems that our world has shrunk to that one thing, and we identify with it as well. Our whole being feels like it's being shrunk to that one thing which dominates your thoughts and your attention. So that is what we're talking about here, that kind of tunnel vision, that kind of obsession. And because this is a physical effect, what we can do is modify that by using our peripheral vision. And of course, we know nowadays that communication between the mind and the body goes both ways. So the mind talks to the body and modifies the body's responses, and it goes the other way around. So by changing the way that we are acting, we can change our mind as well, and the way that we feel. So we can make sure by consciously using our peripheral vision, we can create that response from the parasympathetic nervous system and go back to a nice, calm and relaxed and slower state of mind. So what we need to do this is 2 pencils or pens, whatever you have, And I'm going to just go back with my chair so that you can see clearly what I'm doing. And I'd like you to find a place on the wall in front of you, just in front of your line of vision, that you can keep your eyes on. So keep your gaze on that point that you have chosen. And as you keep your gaze focused there, I'd like you to take your pencils and put your hands out in front of you like this. And then gradually just separate your hands and keep your eyes steady on that point in front of you. But of course you can see the pens in your peripheral vision. So without looking at the pens directly, just keep your gaze in front of you, but you're still aware of the pens. And you will come to this point where if you keep the pens steady, if you keep them still, you can't see them anymore. You try and wiggle them a bit, and then you're aware of them again. Now this is happening because you are seeing these pens now with the rod cells in your retinas. And these rod cells live on the edges of your retinas and they detect movements rather than colour. So that's why you can only see them if you wiggle them about. So when you get to this point, you know that you are at the very edges of your field of vision. Now, I would like you to actually go beyond that and gain an awareness, and I know that this is going to sound strange, but we'll qualify that. Just gain an awareness of the space behind you as well. And of course, I know that you don't have eyes on the back of your head, but you can use your sense of hearing if there are sounds around you, or you can use just your knowledge of what is behind you, just knowing your space. So wiggle your pens so that you are using your peripheral vision, and just include in your mind right now an awareness of what is behind you as well, so that you are looking ahead, you can see straight ahead, using your peripheral vision, and you have an awareness of what is behind you as well. And while you are feeling probably a little bit silly right now, you might also notice that your breathing has slowed down. And you might also notice that your heart rate has slowed down. And probably the muscles in your face are more relaxed right now. Your jaw, your eyebrows, your forehead, your cheeks. And that was just in less than a couple of minutes, actually. So these pens, now just to reassure you that these pens were only there because, at this point you didn't know the exercise, you didn't know what you were aiming for, but you don't need to use the pens every time. It's just for the first time or the first few times, just to gain an awareness and understanding of what you are doing, what you are aiming for, and how it works. But this is something that you can do, this using the peripheral vision and the awareness of the space behind you, something that you can do anywhere. You might be at work and have a potty break, and you can do this in your toilet cubicle. If you're feeling a bit agitated, a bit stressed out, you can take this 2 minutes to do this exercise. You can do it if you are out and about, and if you can make it look as if you are just stopping to admire the scenery, you can do this as well. And as you have seen, it works very, very quickly, and it's one of the simple techniques that I teach to clients who experience panic attacks as well. This is something that can stop a panic attack before it develops. And it is, I love it because it is really using the knowledge of how the mind works and how the body responds to tap into that, to improve your life. So have a go and see how it goes, and I'll see you here next week. Oh, and here's Edgar. He's come to say goodbye. Hi Edgar, say goodbye. All the best to everyone, and see you here next week. Bye, stay safe, bye.